Hi, welcome into my studio. Thought I'd do a quick time-lapse video just showing how I tackled this shark in pastels. Now this is taken from a 1.5 hour really in-depth video on my Patreon art channel, so for anybody who wants to see the full version you can look at it on there. But let me first cover exactly how I did it. Now some artists, beginners, struggle to see the true colours that are actually in their reference photos. So what I like to do then is to actually pull the colours out with an image editor like Photoshop or one of the free ones you can find online. And I just select the colour that perhaps I'm a bit confused about what colour I actually need, and then I drag that out and paint it on the side as you can see in the photograph. So that really simplifies it. You can then tell what pan pastels or soft pastels or pastel pencils match that the closest. So once I'd selected the pastels, I've got my pastel matte paper outlined there as well, and I just start blocking in initially with some pencils, just showing where the light areas are going to be. And you can see I'm using pastel very lightly, and also showing where the darker elements are going to be. Here I'm using pan pastels to mix up the colour on just regular printer paper so that I can get the exact colour I want. And you can see I'm using the small pan pastel soft tool there to put in some of the blue of the water, and now I'm starting to work on the shark, and we've got lovely bounce light on the shark as well. You can see I've got that turquoise colour that's coming from the sky, hitting the floor, probably a sandy colour on the sea floor, and that's bouncing back up. So as you can see, using pan pastels again. And the beauty with pans is that you're not limited to the colours you buy. You can mix them just like paints, so you can get the exact colour hue. Now I could have used soft pastels for this stage. I could also have done just pastel pencils for the whole stage if I'd wanted to, but obviously using just pastel pencils, you wear the pencils out very quickly, especially if you've got a large area of blue as I've got in this particular demonstration. So now using my pencils on the side to basically glaze a colour on top of another colour, and you see very briefly how I then rub that into the surface of the paper with my finger, once again quite gently, but that means I can continue to layer on top, as you can see in this video. Whitening up, lightening areas, once again using that pencil on its side, because I don't want any real hard edges on most of the shark. So that's why I'm using the pencil on its side, building up the layers. As I said, I go into it a lot more in depth on my Patreon channel, because I've obviously got a lot more time to spend talking about exactly what I'm doing and showing most of this in real-time footage. Then after I've done the underlayer, building up those details that we're seeing on the skin of the shark, and there I'm using just a soft pastel to really block in some of that blue. So you can, with pastels, it's all interchangeable. You can use pan pastels, you can use soft pastel sticks, you can use the pastel pencils as well, and they're all suited to different things really. The pencils, they really come into their own when we're using them for details. The pan pastels, they really come into their own when you want to mix specific colours, and the sticks are very punchy in colours and nice and opaque, so they was perfect for that top layer of background. And here you can see how I'm using them on top of the pan pastel, and it's all blending together nice and smoothly. I decided to eliminate the small fish that we saw on the reference photo. I wanted this one just to concentrate on the shark. All my videos on Patreon, or most of them, is really showing how I do my technique so that you can then use them on your own artwork and create your own masterpiece. So as you can see, now I'm really starting the final details, indicating some more of the highlights and the shadow areas and more of the bounce light as well. And that paper you're seeing on the right hand side, that's glassine paper. For those of you that are not familiar with it, that's generally what you see in between the sheets of pastel matte paper when you buy them in books, or if you buy them in large sheets. This will be the separating layer, but you can buy rolls of this and large sheets of it. You know, it's very inexpensive, and it's an acid-free paper, and I like to use that to rest my hand on top of, just to stop that smudging. Here you can see I'm working more. I've just slowed it down to more real-time footage, so you can see how I'm putting in the final details, tidying up the edges. I like to make sure that the edges are slightly soft usually, because I don't want a cutout appearance. I don't want that look you see sometimes where the hard edge is going all the way around a subject, and it makes it look like that's been cut out of a magazine and then stuck onto the background. So remember, the subject is three-dimensional. We're trying to duplicate or create that on a flat surface. So always look at the edges and see if they need to be softened, and in wildlife art that's generally the case. So I've got a nice sharp pencil there as I'm starting to put details on the gills, with some more touches on the sides of the eyes as well. I've got plenty of videos showing exactly how I sharpen those pencils. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. As I said, it's only a very quick one, but I wanted to give you a quick overview of how I tackle a subject like a shark with that bounced light. As I mentioned earlier on, if you want to see a 1.5 hour version of this, it's over on my Patreon channel. I believe it's on the $9 a month level, and for those $9 you get access to all the other videos I've done on there over the last 3 years. So as I'm just putting a few more touches on there, I'll leave you then with an image of it, of the finished drawing taken with my digital SLR and the proper studio lights. And you see the colours are a bit different, but as I mentioned, my videos are really showing you the technique so you can apply this to your own work. So I hope you've enjoyed it. See you again real soon. Just wanted to quickly mention my Patreon channel for those looking for even more in-depth art instruction. It's packed full of pastel videos, oil videos as well, and those videos are being added to new ones every single month. I have videos for the complete beginner that have never done pastels or oils before with just limited supplies, and I take you from the very first blocking in all the way through to the final detailed drawings and paintings. I've also got some really unusual subjects as well, and in all of my videos I always take you through all the details. You see everything I do, how I create my work. But it's not just for beginners, it's also for novices, and I also show the best artwork that I've ever done as well. And this particular elephant video spans 6 hours, so you know you're going to see tons and tons of details, tips and techniques. And as mentioned, I've got lots of oil videos on there too, so there really is something for everybody, and you get access to hundreds of hours worth of videos for just $4. Now over 1,000 members strong. Hope to see you there soon.